Join me this week when I get to test out my new tiller. I share the double locks with a Rock Legend. I get to tug off another narrowboat and also climb a massive hill in search of lost treasure. We're knackered already. Oh, but look at that view. Ahoy there, if you're new to the channel, I'm Heidi and I live aboard my narrowboat home, the Rum Wench, with my little dog Bonny. Join us as we travel the UK's canals and rivers in search of treasure and adventure. For the last few days I've been moored in this beautiful historic city of Chester and I've absolutely loved it. However, because I'm a continuous cruiser, I'm always on the move, and today is leaving day. I have spent the majority of the last year travelling on my own, but today I'm going to be cruising with a fellow boater, Peter, and we're going to try and tackle these wide locks together. 2 solo boaters, 2 boats, no crew, will probably make a right faff of it. So we just got to the first lock of the day and I did pass another boat, so hopefully this lock is going to be empty now, which will make things a lot easier for us both. This stretch of the Shropshire Union Canal towards Barbridge has wide locks, which means double the size and double the effort if you're going it alone. But thankfully I'm not alone, I'm travelling with a fellow boater, but we've both got no crew to lend a hand. It's all about coordination. It's a bit like a dance, there's a rhythm to it, and we both know the moves pretty well when we're alone, but how are we going to make it work together? So just finished the first lock. We're trying to get a plan of action in place for being 2 single-handers. But it's a bit of a faff shutting wide lock gates because normally on the single locks I step across. But you can't do it on these wide ones. Well, I could, but I'd be doing the splits and falling in. So we're trying to find a way to make this work without any crew. And like I said before, it's like a bit of a dance. We both know our own steps, but how do we coordinate them working as a pair? So that's 2 locks down and I'm already covered in lock jizz. Oh, hey, it's been a while since I've had that all over me. It's very muddy, it's climbing up them ladders, get it everywhere, and I've got white top on today. Very silly. It wasn't too long before we both found our rhythm, or our dance as it were, and we took it in turns climbing the lock ladders, opening the paddles and having a lot of fun whilst we did it. So we're just coming up to the next lock now, and I think we're a bit lucky because I've just seen the gates opening, so there must be a boat coming down. And on that last lock there, we didn't have to shut our gates because there was a boat going into it, so that's a bit of luck, that, especially when you're single-handed. But about this tiller, it's wonderful. I'm loving it because I can lift it up and I've got loads of space here. When I'm stepping on and off the boat, it's not getting in the way, banging your nipples. And also when I go down into the boatsman's cabin and come up, I don't bang my head. but it is a little bit short. So if anybody knows a way of extending it, then let me know. I'll show you when I'm more up how it clips in. Could do with like a little piece. We're both single-handers. Is it all right if we stay on? Oh, Pete, you can stay on. Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you. Lockjaws. It's covered in lockjaws. Look at that. So Peter just tried to climb out the lock then, and the walls are very slimy and he's covered in it. That's the thing you see when you're single-handed. You do get covered in all this stuff. Yeah, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thanks to these two lovely boaters who helped us do the lock, me and Peter could have a little bit of a rest before we continued on back to our little lock dance. So I think that was the last lock of the day. So Peter's gone ahead because there's a water point here. So he's going to fill up, get his washing machine on. And I'm going to continue now to a mooring. I'm going to try and moor at the, I think it's called the Shady Oak. It's a pub, so that we can go for a little bit of dinner later. But it's so lovely cruising with a fellow boater. It's just a lot more fun when you're cruising with other people. And he's lovely, Peter. He really is. Anyway, onwards. This is the Shropshire Union Canal, which goes obviously towards Chester, Ellesmere Port. But further up here, there's a junction called Barbridge Junction. I'm not going to get there today, I'm going to moor up soon. And I haven't decided where I'm going to spend winter yet. And the thing is with winter, there's always lots of stoppages that go on, so you can't travel far anyway. So most continuous cruisers choose a canal to winter on. And when I get to Barbridge, I can continue up the Shroppie towards Audlam. I can turn right a bit further up and go up the Llangollen at Hurlston, or I can turn left at Barbridge and go down the Middlewich Arm and maybe head towards the Macclesfield Canal and the Peak Forest. So I just haven't decided. But I am going to moor up very shortly, and I'll probably spend a week or so at this mooring. We'll see, and then make the decision then. I love these moorings here. I think they're called Golden Nook moorings, and there's about 3-4 miles of them. And you're surrounded by lovely fields, even over there. Even though there's a road, there's beautiful countryside that side, and then this side you've got farms and farmland. And it's just very pretty. And I love being a continuous cruiser and moving about, but if ever there was a point where I was ill or, you know, I got too old, I'm only 23, then rather than being in a marina, I would love to be somewhere like this. It's just beautiful. Ahoy! After passing all the moored boats, we were back out into the middle of nowhere again in the beautiful countryside. And I was cruising for quite a while without passing anyone, and then I came across a boat that was grounded, so I offered to tug them off. Throw it off. Tug you in, I'm going to tug you off. Right, you ready?
The thing is with the Shops Union Canal is the sides are very shallow, and there's also a shelf that runs alongside, so it's very easy to get your back end stuck, and this boat here looks like another tug, so it'd be quite deep drafted like mine is. It's obviously stuck quite fast because it's pulling my boat back and into the side. So a few more revs, but I've just got to make sure I don't get myself stuck on this underwater shelf.
Yeah. Go. Can we wheel that in so it doesn't get round any of our... Alright, good luck. Oh, heck, come on, old girl. Balls. Push yourself out.
At this point the Rum Wench was riding onto the shelf, so I had to quickly just jump off and push her out before I got myself wedged and stuck on there. And then hopefully with a bit of reverse I can pull myself off the shelf and everything will be good.
Hopefully that's given me enough run up to straighten up. So just to reiterate, I just helped them guys there then, they got grounded. Got myself grounded, like you do. But I've managed to pull myself off, so all's good. But sometimes, especially with these canals being quite shallow at the edges, sometimes you just need another boat to come along and tug you off, and everything's good. So after all that tugging, I'm ready for a drink, so I'm going to moor here now at the next pub, which is the Shady Oak. It was the plan for today anyway, but I'm ready for it. And I think with them black clouds, it may rain, so I might have timed this perfectly. So I've just moored up here, and I think they're just over there where the rooftop is. I think that's the pub. I hope so anyway. But this is a lovely little mooring now, and I'm just off the 48-hour moorings. I'm just before them, so this will be a week or a 2-week one for me now. All depends on the internet. But I'm just going to wait now because Peter, once he's full of water, he'll be catching me up, and then I think we're going to go in there tonight. Probably have some food and a bit of a drink, but we'll see. But yeah, this will do me now for a few days. I love it. It's nice to be out in the peace and quiet in the countryside again. I've been travelling along with my friend Peter on his gorgeous tug Emily for the last few days. We've cruised together through locks, we've been to the pub, I've had meals on his boat. Such a kind gentleman, but today we're going to be parting ways as he's heading up the Llangollen Canal. So yeah, I'm really going to miss him. It's always lovely travelling around with a fellow boater. But he's on his way, so hopefully in the future we'll meet again. See you later. Oh, I'm really going to miss him. Such great company, so many wonderful stories, and he's had an amazing life, hard working, and Just a great guy. So because I'm moored in the most deepest, darkest medieval part of Cheshire, I couldn't be there without coming to explore Beeston Castle. Now, Beeston Castle was built originally around 1220. It was originally a fort, and then the castle was put on top. But today, me and my mum, we've come to spend some quality time together, obviously, and see what this castle has to offer. It's all in ruins now. One of the big stories about this place was that Richard II buried all his gold here. Yeah, and with us being pirates, you know, we're looking for treasure. So today we're going to bring you with us and go in search of King Richard II's gold.
I've just found this little dell here. Let's have a look in here.
So on the search for this treasure.
I think that's Fairy Glen.
Yeah, fairies live here, don't they, Mum? So obviously with it being a castle, it's on top of a hill. And me and my mum are knackered already. Oh, but look at that view down there. It's just amazing. So this is the moat here to the side of us. All dried up now and overgrown. Wow. Wow. Still in search of this treasure.
So this is the top of Beeston Castle, and in this part of Cheshire you've got all the little black and white and red houses with the little mullioned windows. It's very medieval part of Cheshire. And over there in the woods there you can see Petherton Castle. Petherton Castle wasn't, I think it was just built as a private home, and it's used now for weddings and, you know, different functions like that, and it's just lovely. And when I was at school, which was in Tarporley, we used to come to Beeston Castle as part of our history lesson, as part of a geography lesson, probably as part of every lesson. For me, it's like taking me back to childhood, really, coming back up here. So it's lovely.
So we've just found here a little wishing well. So it's a big one, yeah. We're both going to make a wish. If you were at a wishing well in a lovely location like this, what would you wish for? So I'm back on board the Rum Wench now, and everyone's gone. Peter left earlier, my mum's gone, so it's just me and little Bonny, but she's absolutely knackered after that big adventure today, walking up that massive mountain. But myself and my mum explored those grounds for hours, searching for the long lost gold of King Richard II, and we never did find it. But we made lots of memories and we had a really good time. And talking of time, it's rum time. Now, this is a bit of a coincidence, this. Do you remember a few weeks ago, I showed this rum in a video and I said it had been in my cupboard for ages and I couldn't remember who it was from. Well, it only turns out it's from Peter, who I've been travelling with for the last week or so. So, yeah, rum bullion. And I said, it's a good one, isn't it? So he said to me, Heidi, I'd met you at Crick and I'd give it you then. And I was like, oh, God. Anyway, we're going to have one of these and I'm going to take you in the rear entrance for this week's ditty. It's just so weird that I said I couldn't remember who this was from, and then the next minute I'm moored next to the guy that got it me. How mental is that?
Oh my goodness. Anyway, whilst I am pouring this, a huge thank you to this week's pirate crew. Thank you for everything you do. Just a little bit up to the nipples. There we go. I think I might have gone a bit further than that, Heidi.
Let me take you in the rear entrance to the boatman's cabin for a little lifted.
So here we are in the boatsman's cabin, and I've not took you in the rear entrance for quite a while, have I? A couple of weeks at least. Little Bonny's chewing on an antler. She loves them, don't you? You love your antlers and you love your yak chews. Yeah, it keeps her busy. So, rum bullion rum. This is from Peter and it's so gorgeous. So, cheers everyone. Woohoo! Sweat the lips. Oh, that is so nice. So I don't know if you remember, but in the last video I talked about Peter. Peter, I didn't know who he was. When I first met him, he was just a kind gentleman that I was chatting to, and he said he'd seen a video and saw how I needed to have a hole drilled in my tiller for my new tiller. He said, so I've got a drill on board if you want me to do that for you. And then we got chatting, and it turns out I didn't realise he's a patron as well. But he was in a band. He was in a famous band called Midnight Oil. He was a bass player and did so much amazing stuff with this band. You know, it was in the 80s, before my time. But they were an Aussie band, and he's such a kind gentleman. He's cooked me dinner on his boat. We've had such a lovely time, and obviously our paths have gone now. But we may be meeting up in the future because I have to go slow now because I've got doing a lot of school contracts. As most of you know, I have a little badge making business which pays for me to stay on the water, so I have to work. So I'm going to be going very slowly. He's going up the Llangollen and we may meet again. So, because he'll probably go up there and come down before I even get anywhere. So I hope we do, because we've said we're going to play some music together, just not have a mess about. And he's such a nice guy. But anyway, this ditty was written by Peter. Once he'd left and I was up at Beeston Castle with my mum, he WhatsApped it to me. So I'm going to read this out because it's quite relevant for what has happened in this video. So it goes a little something like this. I set me sights for England and crossed the Great Marine. At Chester Wharf I seen her, that fearsome pirate queen. I drilled a hole and fitted a knob and checked her flaps as well. Her trusty tug was just as sound as any man could tell. We sailed up wind together through lock gates 2 by 2 and anchored up by the Shady Inn and terrorised their crew. Through days of storm and tempest our kinship didn't sway, but old man Time had rung the bell and each must go their way. Now I be old and weary and me roving days be few, but in me dreams I'll always be a pirating with you. Lovely. That's just the type of guy he is. He's a brilliant guy. So if you do see the tug Emily, just give him a big wave. This guy is come from a completely different country. He's come from Australia over to here, got a boat, and he does so many months in this country, so many months in Australia, and he's just a wonderful, kind guy. Anyway, we're going to leave the video here. I really do hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please do give me a big thumbs up. Subscribe down below if you haven't already. But before I go, just a huge thank you to my lovely, gorgeous patrons. Please take care, stay safe, and I'll see you next week. Cheers, everyone. Woohoo! We might as well finish this off, haven't we? What do you think, Bonny? She's not interested. You just like your antler, don't you? That is bloody lovely.